The Ikamas rivalry is all tied up between Sinning Gaming as well as JD Gaming. I mean, JD took game 1, but in both matches, Sinning has been leading in the early and mid game. Just mean JD trying to take it back in the late game, and they almost get out of here. And they almost did it again in that second match.
And it was all because the early element of the game plan. So if I'm JD, I would go into the back. If I'm home, I'm say, you know what? Let's have at least one early game element. Just one. So we have a chance in the mid game. Because this one, it felt good when they actually had their items. Like that last team fight was when they were popping off. But mid game, if they can contest it a little bit more, have one champion that can look for a pick potential, then they can make use of all of that nonsense Hacker is doing in the mid game.
Nonsense.
It's all nonsense. Even the positive nonsense of him stealing Baron when he shouldn't even be there. But look, Hacker, stealing Baron, excellent, won them the game. But I'm not going to give him the props when he was already winning the game. The gold lead was exceptional. And he just was always in the wrong side of the map looking for a kill on towards Zoom. And Zoom at some point was like, you know what, I'm just going to play patiently because this man is trying to kill me at all times.
So you're not going to give Hacker the props because he was winning the game when he was winning the game.
I'm just a mad man. He's winning the game. Should look to be with your team and try and get the Baron a little bit earlier. But he had to steal it instead.
Yeah, that's true. They were playing very aggressively towards Zoom's center of the map. Didn't work out too well for them, but they still clinched the match at the very end. Good steal coming out from Hacker. Brings the game back in favor of Sinning. JD now staring at the possibility of finally dropping a set to Sinning if they come back in game number 2. Sinning on an impressive run so far, only dropping 0-2 to RNG in their last match.
JD Gaming going on blue side for the first time this series is interesting because they've always opted towards red side, just being able to counter pick more often than not. So the fact that they're here means that they have a champion they want to be able to get for themselves.
Could it be the Lucian? I mean, Lucian is the most popular AD carry at the moment, equally banned out and picked, and locked in for Loken in the bottom lane.
And Loken is a very expressive character. When JD lost doing B earlier, I was wondering where the emotion was going to be on this team. And if you watch Loken's camera, he's always the person who's just, if he loses a kill, he's literally just jumping off his seat. And if he feels like a game can be won, he tries to prioritize his champion the most. So picking up Lucian is going to be, that's the reason for it. That was the discussion that they had in the back.
I mean, he almost won that game for JD as well, picking up the Xayah, kiting it out in the late game, dealing a decent amount of damage for his team. Sinning to pick up Graves as well as Talia, so it should be Graves in the jungle, Talia heading inside the mid lane or support.
JD is a team that always holds their support pick because Jade, or at least Lumao, wants to be able to be on an engaged champion. With the amount of lane priority, or at least the skirmishing factor of Lucian, okay, they're going to pick Fiddlesticks for him. I think that, I was about to say, I want to see what he picks up for himself because that could just be them going bottom side in the early map again.
I mean, he's already played Fiddlesticks once before. For JD, so not a champion he is unfamiliar with here as. But you're right, he does normally go towards engaged supports, and Fiddlesticks technically is one, but it's the one and only range support, barring Thresh, that he's actually played.
I want to see how it gets played here because it is a bit of a coin flip going up against Alistar. If Alistar has the support of Hacker's Talia, wait, I guess it seems
Hello,
Hacker's Graves.
Welcome to Champion Select.
All right, wait a second now. I was looking so much at JD's champions, I completely just kind of forgot about the fact
that
he had
Alistar,
two of those champions out there.
Put that Alistar in the bottom lane.
What the heck?
Talia's either heading into the mid lane or into the bottom lane position. So I'm not sure, but it is a support Alistar. Graves in the jungle.
We have seen Road, also a support in the LCK that's gone towards the Talia support. Talia support provides a lot of damage out of range. So it's a good, I would say it's a good pick versus the Fiddlesticks, but I would want for Fen to pick it up. Sure, he doesn't know what his lane matchup is, essentially, but Talia, even though losing out your AoE on your Q hurt her, but she's still a much better roamer if she has the potential of doing so. If she can leave her lane, she's much faster at getting to the second location.
Talia is one of the few champions that has walked into the Hall of Fame of a champion that's been played in all 5 positions. Champions like Ludo up there. Jace is up there, but we try to forget about that Jace support game in the LCK a long time ago. Lulu as well as Ornn with the bans coming out from Sinning, Aatrox and Dr. Mundo. being bent up by JD. You don't have to kick the router as.
We're good. We're all good. JD wanted to keep this game safe. They knew I was commentating on it. They were just like, all right, we won't ban specifically Suning Gaming's top laner Xiao Ao. We'll just ban so we can keep this game going because Raz is watching.
Well, it seems like Fun. Oh, this time maybe Xiao Ao is going to be able to pick up Irelia. Still not sure where these two champions are going to swap into.
And it really can go anywhere. Remember, we already talked about the potential of Talia going bottom lane. Fury and Yoon has found a multitude of champions, so their champion pool has been incredibly large.
Here we go. Alistar top lane with Trinity Force, Raz.
I don't want to hear it. Spawn's not here. I don't want to hear Alistar going anywhere other than support.
Luden's Echo.
No.
Alistar jungle. Graves 80 carry.
You know what? Give Alistar jungle the support needed, and a level 2 gank seems good to me. No. It's not happening.
Upset. We'll have to see where the Talia's balls are really going to go. Probably Talia mid, Irelia top, but keeping track of it. Yasuo locked in for JD. Should be Yagao's champion in the mid lane as well. Add another one to the list of champions he's played already.
Yeah, I thought he was going to play it last
Oh, he's already
game.
had one.
I thought he was going to play it last game because we saw the Rakan being picked up. Would be a great setup there, but it wasn't going to happen. This time around, we get to see JD's full composition, and it seems like it's going to be a Singed for Zoom. So Zoom blind picking the Singed, feeling fairly confident about it.
Final pick from Suning. It's going to be a Darius. So, Raz, what's going on?
Look,
Who's going where?
The Darius is 100% going top lane. I'll
Okay.
tell you that for certain. So it's just going to be the Talia 8, I'll say bottom lane. Fury's going to pick up Talia. Yeah, there we go. So I said that Zoom's feeling confident on the Singed. You have to be if you're blind picking it. He's going to, I wonder how this lane phase can go because Darius usually smacks him. Absolutely blasts him. Hacker should be top lane. So once again, this is another game where Hacker has priority in the matchup versus Clid. It's going to be Clid that's going to find any opportunity to snowball, because if he doesn't, then it's going to be Xiao Ao and Fen set up to succeed.
Suning get red side for the first time in this series and utilize their flex picks incredibly well. Add another mage champion to Fury's list. Played a lot of Swain, a lot of Vladimir. Now he's going to take Talia into the bottom lane.
One thing I love about the recent Talia is the fact that out of combat, you only need to be out of combat for 2 seconds before you get the movement speed from wall. So reason why it works so well as a support is because after you skirmish a little bit, you just trim the wall. Get in bush. Your bush control is so good. I don't want to hear it, Fish. Your bush control is so good because you just run around skating, rooming around the bottom lane. But I wonder how it's going to play out this round, because you actually are not going to be able to get out of combat if you're farming it out. So he's just going to be trying to have wave control so you can skirmish quite frequently.
It's got an Alistar down there, but up against a Fiddlestick solution. That's a very high damage bottom lane from JD Gaming. Did they manage to get it there, Raz? Did JD manage to put in the early game champions?
They definitely have
into late game.
They definitely have the Yasuo and Lucian to be watching out for. So their bottom side of the map is so much more impactful early. I want to see what Yagao can do on the Yasuo pick, because he's always been a playmaker, and you saw what game 1 looked from. Now moving away from the supportive pick of Lulu, he can do it big with this one.
Trying to have another carry match, Yagao, but Fen 3 games of Irelia, and all 3s that he's shown promise in this mid lane on his bruiser picks. Suning picking up the Talia in the bottom lane. Let's see how this one goes. It's match point in the e-commerce wars going into the Summoner's Rift for game number 3. Oh, yeah, get him.
There we go. You have to match him. You have to. You can't come up following up the Jingdong guy.
You stand up to that man.
Mm-hmm. Maybe try and sabotage him as he's cheering.
What?
The moment he starts, you pull the chair underneath him. These are strategies. These are legitimate strategies. We don't have referees for the crowd.
That's not sportsmanlike though, Raz. Neither is kicking the router. Good. Man, I've got a whole nother set with you after this game.
That's true.
You get on the desk, get Dom or Rusty over here.
I'm going to sabotage them to make myself look good. That's what I do.
Yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Razzle-Plasm for you.
You got to hit below the belt sometimes in life. I'm a great example for the people out there.
What? No, not at all. Not after what I've just heard. Both junglers are going to start on the red side of their camps, picking up red buff first. Fury drops a very early ward against the Fiddlesticks Lucian combo. He's going to continue to use the workaround to harass Lumao, even you knocking Lurkin back.
Oh my
Ooh.
god, that is the most efficient. What is that even, a party balloon?
Yep, it's a balloon doggy.
Well, there we go. It hurt people tonight.
Those things hurt when they pop, like if you're holding onto it, and like the legs pop.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
You're making me even more afraid. I can't even handle those because I feel like they're just going to pop at any time. I don't like the sound of popping balloons, Fish.
I don't think many people do, Raz. It's quite scary.
There's a real phobia around it. People, I knew a friend.
I know
Before we
people
even
that
have this,
that
we'll
too.
talk about it later, but like, you know, I'd put a balloon anywhere near them and they hate you for life.
But the observers are bringing up Graves' Keystone Rune here, because he's gone for the electrocute,
Wow.
not going towards the fleet footwork that we normally see.
Now, I like fleet footwork because it allows you to be scaling with crit a little bit easier, but also when you're chasing someone, it has the ability so you're always on top of them. Sure, with electrocute, it's just more damage early on. So he's really just looking to get on top of Clid, Yagao, really anybody, and just to win the skirmish. So him hitting in these bushes, there's a reason for it. The mindset is that he wants to be able to burst somebody.
But no one's there because Clid has the exact same idea. Moves up towards the top side of the map. Going to pull Krugs away from Vision and take Krugs away from Hacker. So the jungle Hacker doing the exact same thing. Lucian as well as Fiddlesticks. Oh no, he just used his dash. He might be forced to flash.
Hit him! What are you doing?
Now they're going to try and dash in. Hacker taking a lot of damage.
Oh my
Here comes
God.
that Ignite is sticky. My goodness! You won early game. Loka's going to bring it to you. They pick up first blood.
Lumao, you are so smart. It doesn't end here though. Here comes the flick.
Clid going up towards top side of the map. Xiao Ao flashing back to his tower. Double apprehend. Zoom in some trouble. He's forced to flash away as well.
Fen is already rolling. Suning Gaming's early game, man. 4 minutes in and they're already looking for action.
Oh, Yoon jumps in. Does get the lockdown, but the flick back doesn't come through. Fen. 3 flashes, Raz.
It's a lot of flashes.
Bang! It's like a Marvel movie at the moment.
I don't like that. But
You didn't catch it was the wrong reference. Never mind.
there's not a lot of Marvel movies that I've watched actually, so I'll just be able to.
But they're still going at it,
Oh,
Raz.
wait a minute.
They're trying to lock them down again. No flash available by these guys. The flick doesn't come through. Headbutt does. Lockdown comes out from Fen. Fury gets the double buffs and picks up a return kill for sitting in the bottom lane.
Of course, if the kill hadn't gone down, it would have been Yagao that would. Wait a minute. Please stop the kill. Stop the violence.
Zoom in the top lane, getting ganked here by Hacker, trying to run away, flings back Xiao Ao on top of the Mega Adhesive, means he can't continue chasing, and Hacker says this is not worth it.
No one cares about the waves. Nobody.
Well, actually Yagao cares about the waves. He left mid lane to pick up all the farm that Loka missed in the bottom lane.
Yagao was in a good spot. Yagao would have been happy if the bottom lane dive didn't happen because he pushed in the mid lane wave.
Hang on.
And Fen was like, I'm staying bottom. Wait a minute. Are you really taking
What's going
this
on?
entire farm? Wait a second.
No, it's not the farm I'm looking at, Raz. Look at where Lucian is on the minimap at the
Oh
moment.
my god, he's covering for yes. He better just be covering. He really will be. So he's covering mid lane because the bottom lane's getting pushed in.
Oh.
And then they're going to swap places. So just hold your horses now. He's not just going to be the new mid laner now.
Yagao's level 6, Raz.
Unless if, oh my god, that was a beautiful ward.
Got it.
Bryce Jim Paul would be proud.
He would be, actually. That's one of the wards Bryce likes to throw down.
I reckon if you check Spawn's Twitter, right now it's still pinned there. He put out a lot of great warding locations that you can check out if you're a support main. But apparently if you're an AD carry main, you can value it too because Fury just output that one.
That's right. If you can't play, you teach or cast in Jim's case.
Feeling the burn from there.
Don't worry, you'll never find out. Please don't tweet at him. Don't let him know. But getting back into this match, there was a bit of swaps coming out after the dive that came out from Suning. Yagao went to the bottom lane, picked up a ton of farm. He's a level ahead of Fen now. Level 6 under Yasuo, accelerated, 55, 56 farm.
That's the thing. Fen took such a large risk for these plays going bottom lane twice. All Yagao did was just push a wave mid, massive wave into the tower, Fen lost out in the entire one, so he's going to come back into the lane a level behind, and he has to recognize that he just has to concede a lot.
Whereas in the bottom lane, Fury picked up a nice lead for himself, 10 CS ahead. Logan was locked down when it came, knocked down when it came to levels, but he's doing okay now. Still kept underneath this turret, however. The pressure coming out from Talia is quite strong.
Yeah, it's all for Captain Fury at this point in time. Doing really well just based off that. The kill gold has, of course, 2 nice books. What are they called again? Magic books, man. You know, I could just call them magic books. I'm going to call them magic books anyways.
The magic books.
The magic books.
The 2 items that Fury has.
Yep, doing well because he can just literally just stick in these bushes as he is.
What magic did they give you?
Internal magic.
The internal magic books coming out from Fury.
Oh, this is excellent. That being said, with how much pressure that they have in the bottom lane, they do need to chill out because of what's happening here.
Khalid's actually trying to rotate down into the bottom lane, but no aggression coming out from Yun or Fury. They're actually playing quite safe. Hacker's not down there. He actually hits level 6 over picking up red buff for himself.
I mean, ultimately, Hacker is in a great position. Even if he inquires a little bit into the blue side jungle, he'll find himself a blue buff. He's actually moving towards it. And he can gank top lane. So with all of the pressure that Clit has put down in the bottom side of the map, Hacker is getting so much out of it. Oh, okay, maybe looking for a gank.
He does want blue, but a gank against Singe would be nice. And say clearing out the control ward. Even Fen was running towards the top side of the map, hitting level 6 on Irelia. Oh no, it's going to be a birthday surprise for Fury! Happy birthday, buddy! Surprise comes out and Lumel picks up the kill.
Alright, Yoon was just upset. He was coming. He was so close to being able to help out his buddy. You stray that far away from your own tower, of course the birthday surprise is going to come at you early.
Kill does go over towards the support, but JD should be fairly happy with that pick themselves. Loken now level 6. Should be able to catch up in experience.
Yeah,
able to take his own. Culling to trim that wave as well, push it closer to the turret.
I'm surprised he's sticking around though, because of course you want to call, okay, there we go. You wanted to call the cannon wave so you can base as soon as possible and reach the lane while Talia's coming back.
They spot him going back to base as well.
Doesn't matter too much. He's going to still be able to come back before the wave hits his own turret. So really well done from Loken. The only worry is that if Yoon decided to just bulldoze him, just walk straight towards him to stop his base timing, but Loken came in, had a good time.
Lumel also trying to move towards top side of the map. Only puts down a couple of wards, clears out a scrying plant, but that's all. Now moving straight down into the bottom lane. But Fury as well as Yoon have been able to chip away at this turret quite well. That turret should be able to fall.
Yeah, Loken needs to, he can't be under this tower. Okay, TP coming through.
Cancelled.
Wait a second.
Xiao was teleporting as well, so as most top lane brawls go around, nothing happens.
Yeah, I can understand that Loken wanted to commit to this tower. They thought they had a play, and then Graves came by. The moment Graves came by, it's like, yeah, we're going to call this one off.
Bye-bye.
Very least, Loken still gets and Clit is back here. Wait a second. Clit, hello?
Why are you helloing Olaf?
He's been stationed at this bottom lane for a very long time.
This is his home. He has a tent. If Yoon goes shows any form of aggression, Clit's going to try and Ragnarok in. Lumel, no Crow Storm available. Flash Ignite is.
Okay. So the fact that Fury used his full combo on the wave, there's no headbutt pulverize coming out of you. It's not going to happen, Clit. It's not, you're just stealing your main... oh, here we go.
Don't tell them Olaf is there. Oh,
yep.
They found him!
Yep.
No! Now Hacker's there. He walks into the bush where the undertow is, so everyone knows where all the junglers are.
He still has the birthday surprise. Look at Lumao. He's still willing to show something. Oh, they're coming around for the fight.
They have to know that Hacker's there. I'm pretty sure they saw them with that undertow, but you fakes onto Logan, but jumps on Lumao, kills him instantly. Goes to get a fear off before the fight, but Talia's going to cut off the entrance bar. Double kill being picked up by Hacker. Now it's cleared. Ragnarok to try and run away, but even Funfun's down here, throws out his own ultimate, and 3 kills to Sitting. Great tower dive.
That had to be the most forced and least successful play in LPL history. Do not search it up. Don't go on your PCs, and that's an award I created because that was disgusting. They stayed there for so long, and Yoon and Fury were rightfully suspicious. So that's what, that's what happens. Upsetting. Lid lost so much experience the entire time.
He's level 7, Hacker is level 8. Yagal, though, level 9, trying to chase down this Graves. Doesn't have the tornado anymore. Gets him with the blast code. He's going to be able to pick up that kill.
Well, that's how you do it. Sometimes Yagal just comes in clutch for your team. That's why I hate Ocean Dragon. As a jungler, even though it doesn't deal as much damage as... okay.
Oh, Lumao's here as well. Ignite is ticking. Flashes forward. Exhaust goes down. Throws out the tornado. Jumps back in. Yoon tries to stop him. Not going to work. Wind wall just for protection by Lumao. The poor Fiddlesticks in trouble. Trade 1 for 1.
Yep. It's always sad when a Fiddle dies in that way, but came in clutch to help out Yagal. Yeah, I'm going to rant about Ocean Dragon a little bit.
Tell me about Ocean Dragon.
So even though it doesn't deal as much damage as Air Dragon, if you ever get caught, your hands up, taking Ocean, it will slow you and continue to do so because the auto attack speed is still pretty damn high. So as you saw, easily Yasuo is going to chase him down. So if you ever get caught out doing Ocean Dragon because it doesn't deal that much damage really early on, the problem is not so much the damage. It's the fact that it will follow you to the ends of the earth. Take a look at that. It's still slowing him. This time it's already over, so I don't even need to commentate the fact that he got blown up by the Yasuo.
Just dies. Yagal now 2-0-0 with the help of Ocean Dragon.
Oh, we want to see the entire thing. All right, okay. So Yagal gets opened up on by the Aurelia. But the issue here is that the flash fear from the Fiddlesticks is all he needs. That's it. I don't even want to talk about the fact that Lumao dies, but yeah, flash Fiddlesticks.
Didn't feel like Lumao needed to flash there, though.
He definitely did, but he's worried for his brother. He's worried.
I mean, the exhaust was ready and already used by Yagal. He had a second or two more.
It's the only time a Fiddlesticks feels like he's, getting a play going.
Bit of a farm in the top lane as Alistar makes his way up there. Good flash by Zoom, gets away from the headbutt. But turret trade's going to come through. Seems like JD have the upper hand as Loken and Clear will take down the bottom lane out of turret first. As now it's Finfin's time for a surprise. Oh, no more surprise.
I can actually remember here. If they can hold off for the next wave, then it would work.
Suning didn't get that top lane out of turret, by the way.
Ah, yes.
So JD just going to push through. They equalized the turrets after their first turret got taken down by Suning. Now looking to try and see if they can take down the bottom lane inner turret, but there's Clown Fiestas all across the map. Hacker being dove, but let's go back to that bottom lane because there's a teleport, and Darius is getting down there as well. Finfin throws out the ultimate, just locks everyone inside the cage. There's nothing you can do anymore. Double kill being picked up by Aurelia.
There we go. I mean, ultimately, Suning Gaming come on hot for the kills, so yeah, sure, they didn't trade anything topside, but they got the Rift Herald, and they're looking for these mid lane towers.
Slowly bringing everyone to this mid lane. Alistar's there as well.
Yeah, Yoon coming in for a flank.
Woo.
Remember, Lumao doesn't have flash either, so he's an easy target if he gets caught out.
Yes, he definitely is. Yoon!
Yeah, he
looks like a proxy Singe. He's trying to go straight behind Yagal as well as Lumao. Rift Herald goes in for another charge. Yagal jumps back into the mid lane. Clears out that wave. A good charge. Takes the turret down very low. JD got a bit greedy with their push, and now they're 3,000 gold behind Suning. But seems like every single match, Raz.
It does, doesn't it?
JD falling behind, Suning pulling ahead early, JD trying to fight back late game.
It comes down to how Suning Gaming gets these leads. If it's not Yoon or the Tom Kench finding themselves parking on opposite side of the maps, then Hacker's tendencies he wants the kills. He wants the dives. He wants blood. And that's how the gold, he ends up getting parked for himself. But the problem is, when the towers open up, he still doesn't look for towers. He's still, like, for instance, of course, you were talking about the fact that he wasn't going topside for the towers. He went for the Rift Trail. That's nice, okay? But the fact that they decided to not trade, but to instead look for a flank play, that ended up working out quite well for themselves. Like, that's a high-risk play that worked out well. But in the previous games that they've had, it hasn't. And it's ultimately cost them a lot of time.
It's not a large or sizable gold lead that Suning can just end the game right now with what they have. They still have to keep up the pressure. JD would be happy sitting back, relaxing, and trying to scale up. Got a Yasuo, they've got a Lucian. So Suning, no real AD carry besides Graves, who's more of a bruiser in the jungle. Got flank coming out from Alistar. Lumao is here for the surprise. Gotta be a bit careful though. Did they pick a fight? Yes, they do. Crowstorm comes out, jumps straight on top of this Aurelia. Culling comes through. Limao gets that kill to kick things off. Now can he get away from the blast cone? Yes he can. Ragnarok's going to be enough. Sitting trying to get a pick onto JDG's jungler, but Clid pops to Ragnarok and he's okay.
And 26 seconds as a death timer is pretty sizable at this time. Getting a proper pick on towards Fen should mean that easily they are able to defend the mid lane push. And it looks like they found themselves another flank.
Zoom has found a nice teleport, looking to try and collapse. Fury cutting off his own team, and it's going to be Alistar the first target. Flung backwards, pops his ultimate to try and stay alive a bit longer. Fear comes up from Real, gives him a little bit of a party hat, but Yoon's just way too tanky for them to deal with at the moment. Rest sitting split off towards the mid lane. They're going to be okay as well.
We got some reasonable summoner spells from Yoon now. No Ignite Flash. Had a lot of his HP burn. He does need to base, and so it's going to be up to Ding Dong to push mid and top lane and start to actually chip at this top lane tower.
They've already started to season the beef. Fury getting caught.
Wow.
Gal says, all right, let's go for this fight. Dashes to a minion. Fling doesn't knock him backwards. That was Rusty who would have tried to dive into the back lines of those minions and go for that kill, but Gal, smart player.
Yep, doesn't want to kill himself.
Just accepts the damage.
I appreciate that entirely.
Fury's able to heal back up from the target of Prox as well. Stays in that mid lane. Archangel Star first, being picked up by Talia as the bottom lane position. But this has been, most of this match, been sitting, trying to find plays, trying to find the aggression. Yagao clawing back small advantages for his team. This was the early game part of the composition that JD kind of threw in and scales fairly well. Yagao's had a decent start to this match.
Yeah, if I'm looking at JDG's composition, I'm looking at two items right now. One is the Black Cleaver for Loken, and the other one, as you mentioned for Yagao, is the Infinity Edge. If he has IE, he's already at 100% crit. Remember, he gets quadruple crit just based off of the Infinity Edge and his passive combination. So all he really needs is a Phantom Dancer that he already has, 30% into the doubled 60% for an Infinity Edge, and then of course doubled with your passive 120%. So that's all you really need as a Yasuo to get going. So if I'm JDG, you just buy time. Put Yasuo in a side lane and hope to God that he can get towards that breakpoint before the game really breaks open.
Nothing happened. Hello, they're still going for a fight. Yagal's down there.
Okay, let's go.
Flings him, but no knock-up close range for Yagal to go for the ultimate. Xiao Ao decides to jump backwards, throws out the ultimate. Good damage on the Zoom.
Wow.
A little bit too quick. Zoom does have to be careful though. If Xiao can collapse,
Oh
he gets the
my
upper hand.
God.
A few more auto attacks. Is that going to be enough? The bleed is ticking. The rest of the team gets there in time. Forced to the flash out of Singe. But Xiao falls. Another kill to JD.
That was a long apprehend. That shouldn't have hit him, but it did. The animation is just a little tricky one.
Right?
Here we go. That's a lot of members here. So they're going to be able to take this tower, look for the mid lane outer turret at the very least. I don't think that Sunny Gaming should be able to defend it. They have a Talia, perhaps, so they can utilize her ulti. Just kidding. Seems like this team wants the dragon instead.
Ocean Dragon, second Ocean Dragon of the game, and JD were able to pick up the first one, so they'll be happy with taking this. Next spawn's going to be another Ocean.
Okay.
You knew that game knew what you were casting runs, and they knew you don't like Ocean Dragon, so they gave you 3.
Oh, they really did. Hey, at the only thing I don't like about Ocean Dragon is that it slows you if you're trying to solo it out. Really only pertaining to the first one, but I guess it still stands as a passive thing. I will say the only reason why I would have wanted them to take the mid lane tower instead of the Ocean is that Baron control is now in the utmost importance.
Yeah, 20 minutes in. Baron has spawned, and Baron is fairly weak in the early stages of the game now.
Yep. You definitely want control in the area, and not having a mid lane turret yourself, but not being able to take the mid lane turret, puts Suning Gaming at a massive advantage of being able to clear it out. So even though right now Suning Gaming losing skirmishes, they do have the ability to place these wards safely.
Get it?
Chug, chug.
Whole lot of nothing happening right there as Xiao as well as Zoom still fighting in this bottom lane. Seems having a difficult time pushing against the Darius. We saw the Xiao was almost able to kill him, but it could be a fight around Baron. Chug!
Chug, chug. That's literally all that's going to happen here unless the Suning Gaming start taking Baron, or at least starting up the area, because JDG can't really force them to do anything. Fiddlesticks uses ulti, then he just dies. And there's no CC to go and catch anybody out like Alistar. So right now it's just waiting for Suning Gaming to place wards, force up towards Baron, and then JDG can do something about it.
Can they? Because JD seem very comfortable in the position they're at, even sending Yagao into the bottom lane.
I think they're just trying to go for another combination here.
I mean, a flip coming out from Zoom should be able to put Yagao in range for the ultimate. Actually
There we
waiting,
go.
buying some time. There's the flip. Ultimate comes up from Yagao, gets the armor penetration. Collapsing towards this Darius. Ultimate is there, looking to dunk. Not going to be enough. Yagao gets that kill.
And there's no response from the opposite side as well. So Suning Gaming were just not there for a Baron. They were just looking to take, or at least Talia was taking blue buff, or it was in the area. So that's just the Darius down for 30 seconds, while JD can reposition and look to pressure for a Baron wards.
So what are Suning do now? Because that gold lead they have is shrinking. 2,000 gold is their lead at the moment.
I've heard that before.
Yagao's 4-0-0 on a Yasuo.
Yep.
Suning had a lot of pressure earlier, but it seems like it's slowly being eased up by JD.
It's because they're not taking the risks that they should be taking. Now the answer is obviously just to clear out mid lane before Xiao gets back onto the map. Now he's back on the map, he's going to clear bottom lane, and the answer should be for Suning to just challenge for the Baron vision. Put down enough control wards, and so they can actually place a deeper ward in a blue side jungle for Xiao to TP on, and then force the Baron fight. But right now they're just playing way too passively.
Which for the side of JD, it seems like they've done the right moves. I mean, Loken and Luma got dived quite heavily in the bottom lane, but they're attacking Xiao wherever they can. They have been attacking him for majority of this match. Yagao is scaling up. Already has that BS sword complete, the Stair's Gauge and Phantom Dancer done.
And remember this, that Fury went towards the Seraph's build rather than the Ludens, so he doesn't have the early game damages and opting towards just having the mana pool to clear. So, I mean, he's fully stacked it up just now, so that's nice. He feels a lot more protected in fights with the shield that he gets now, but we'll have to see if that works out. Are you kidding me? They're doing this again?
Oh, there comes Zoom, as well as Yagao collapsing. Stair's Gauge gets popped by Xiao, heals back up nicely. Hacker is here, but great wind wall. Yagao on top of his game at the moment, even looking for Hacker off the back of that.
Yeah, you know what? Any solo queue top laner would probably tilt it at the fact that Suning Gaming are not doing a damn thing on the opposite side of the map while there's a 2v1 happening bottom lane.
I mean, I often compared Yagao to someone like, someone like Paul Pogba from football, who's a midfielder, sets up his team for success. Nah, if I was using NBA terms, he's LeBron right now. His team is setting him up.
Yeah,
he got the slam dunk 5 times in this game.
My tiny North American brain couldn't comprehend the football you were talking about. And I'm not talking about the real football, which is American.
What? That is hand egg ball.
Hand egg ball.
It looks like an egg. It's not football.
Doesn't look like your head. All right.
My head does not look like an egg.
Egghead. We're about to bite you.
Got 3 more games to cast with you. You're a lunatic. So is that man. Zoom with Righteous Glory as well as Australia's being picked up. He's fast.
Yes, but at least now Xiao has a sense of ease saying, you know what, at least there's a Yasuo on the top lane. So now I don't have to worry about my team doing nothing as I'm split pushing bot. Actually, this has turned quite aggressive from Suning Gaming. They're sending their full man lineup going up towards Baron.
Yeah, right after they lose the gold lead they previously acquired. It might be the target here. Fury as well as Yoon have a flanking position. Deep wards being placed down.
They have 2 Sterix here, fully completed by both Fen and Xiao, so diving seems realistic.
Not going for it yet. Suning now actually going to move
They're
towards that
going for
Baron they started. Taking out very fast. Scrying Ob's going to spot them out. JD have to react to this. Woo!
Okay.
Fury building up a wall. Trying to make JD pay for it as well as Luma goes for the surprise. Culling comes through. Zoom gets a nice flank in the back lines. Nice using the stopwatch, but he's the first to fall. Now can we see if Yagao jumps in? Loka the back lines left untouched.
Oh
Suning slowly losing members. Loka wants to clear the fight. Loka, why did you flash back in there? Woo! He has to use his own stopwatch now. Hacker is low. Yoon's trying to get the stuns above, but the poor Alistar is going to be turned into beef. Double kill being picked up by Loken.
Loken is a boss. That's my response to you. The fact that he realized he needs to go in, dive to the back line to get the kill, yeah, it's stopwatch. So he recognized bided his time for the situation to find itself, because the start of the fight was pretty hectic. I love the fact that Lu Mao found himself going over the wall with his ulti, stopwatched himself as well, and allowed for the team to play around the Baron. Baron did quite a bit of damage on towards Sinning to start it off. So take a look at this. So Lu Mao starts off the fight. A flank comes through from Sin and allowed Yagao and Loken to just walk in, because the 3-man knockup coming in for Yagao allowed for him to get in there. And then after he did his piece was done, Loken found the opportunity to go straight towards Hacker and Fury and get the kills.
Absolute madman. Used his own stopwatch. Olaf unfortunately dies in the back half of that for JD, but JD do win the fight narrowly, however. Gold is still dead even between these two teams. Good play coming out from Sinning, but it just feels like this is the play they should have made 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I think the call at the time was to wait on the Darius Hysteric's gauge, because the moment he got that for himself, he just went right for the play. But you don't need the item there to take that fight. You had the gold lead, you had the vision control advantage, you just needed to make use of it. And that was my issue with it. It didn't happen. And it was only really when Jingdong could respond to it was when they started to pressure for the Baron.
JD now have triple Ocean Dragon as well, Raz. Going to be regenerating health quite quickly. And they're the team that has control over the Baron pits as well. Loken picking up a very early Guardian's Angel, trying to deal with the brawl-heavy squad of Suning Gaming.
Maybe out of position.
Yoon was the one face checking. They decide not to engage onto the tanky support. Loken still staying in Fog of War, doesn't want to be caught out. Blade of the Ruin King, Black Cleaver, and Guardian Angel. Those are his 3 items picked up.
This is hilarious. It seems like Yoon is permanently in his ulti, but that's just the animation. No, just flaunting around.
Angry.
He still hasn't used it.
Angry cow.
Yep. He has a good reason to be angry.
Why? What is that reason?
Well, what happened for quite some time for Sinning Gaming, I'd be mad too.
He's 0-1-8, doing well so far. Sinning going to try and start Baron again. Zoom actually has no teleport. Difficult for JD to try and collapse onto this fight, but they're keeping them there, taking some damage from this Baron buff. Yoon taking a lot of damage from the Culling, especially under 400 hit points as the tank for the team. Forced out of the fight, crucial ultimate being used.
Yeah, now it's really gone, and he needs to base. He won't be able to get the HP back at all. It's JD that has triple Ocean Dragon, so JD's in a really good position. In fact, they're pushing for mid instead of going to Baron.
But again, Fury builds up a wall, stops the push coming out from JD. JD decides not to pull the trigger on that neutral objective. Now moving back towards the pit.
Please just do Baron. Wait a second. Are people just allergic to it?
I mean, it is JD that are looking for the Baron, Raz.
Look, I understand.
They are the Dignitas of the LPL.
And I don't want to hear that name ever again, but I understand.
Is this why they kept losing? Did you just tell Dignitas to just do the Baron, Raz? We need to have a talk if that's the case.
Hey, it's about playing it smartly, all right? If you have this large of a lead,
it's dead even! But they're going to run straight at them. Look at Zoom go! Zooming into the team of Sinning. Throws Xiao out back. Stopwatch gets used. Fenford dives in, but he's exhausted. Taking a lot of damage. Big knockup coming up for you. Go! Slams the ground. Great kills being picked up. Surprise birthday from the Fiddlesticks as well. Darius trying to jump in the back line. It's going to knock down Cliff very low. The bleed is still there. The stopwatch isn't going to be enough. He gets the regeneration to stay alive. JD with the ace. 4 members left up.
Yep, 36 seconds. Sounds pretty good to me. They don't have a wave unless if they decide to tank this one throughout. Loken really wants to do it, but his team is telling him, get the heck to Baron. So that's going to be the response. I mean, look, the team fight worked out exceptionally well for them. Even if Alistar came back at full HP, it didn't matter at the end because Yagao was just that strong in the fight.
Zoom's just so fast as well. Gets straight into the back lines. Loken's angry. Culls the Baron. Takes it down so low. Easy pickup for JD. What was Suning in the driver's seat. Now JD come back at the 30-minute mark in the match. Let's take a look at the fight again.
Take a second look. Because Yoon takes time, comes back, but they found their target in Darius. Darius took a lot of HP of himself before he stopped watch. So the moment that 4-man knockup came through, immediately followed up by the Fiddlesticks because he got a double kill. It was real no way coming back for this one in Suning.
I mean, the timing coming out from Yagao was beautiful as well. He got the full knockup. Waited until the last second before activating his ultimate to continue the CC onto that back line. beautiful to watch. 6-1 and 6 on Yasuo, has his Infinity Edge now. This man is unstoppable.
Yeah, Sterix Gauge, Infinity Edge. He's working towards his Guardian Angels next. So he's looking real good, especially those minions. Look at those minions. Do you see those minions? The Observer does.
What about them, Raz?
Those minions are going to be crucial to how JDG win this game as the Banded one comes through. They just need to follow it. Don't let them die. No! All right, these minions, look at these minions. Ah, these minions look beautiful. Now you got to protect these minions. Don't let them die. No! But have you seen these minions?
Raz. Well, these minions finally pay off. They went to market and got good damage onto the mid lane inhibitor turret. But they all die. It's normally how League of Legends goes.
Alright. They realized that they didn't utilize the top lane minions. And they just mindlessly followed minions. Wait a second, they found minions.
Did you just go from mid lane to bottom lane and now you're blaming them for not using the top lane?
Look, it's a team game.
Yes!
And I'm not talking about the 5 men. I'm talking about the millions of minions that they need to use. Let's go.
Well, they're going to try and use Singe. They flick an Alistar back in the team. Immediately uses the ultimate to stay alive and reduce a lot of the damage that was being dished out by JD. But just as disengage came out from Sinning, they lose their mid lane inhibitor and turret.
All right, there we go. I mean, right now, Sinning Gaming need to find a desperation team fight. They have a few Guardian Angels underneath them. We're talking about Fen and Xiao Al. One of them need to find a proper TP flank so they can get behind JDG, or else this is just going to keep happening.
So they're setting up for this bottom lane push. 1 minute left on Baron. Banner of Command is back up and available for Clid.
Oh, here we go, Yoon. This is a really good control ward, but Lumao, of course, he knows what Yoon's thinking. Get the hell out of here. Ooh. Oh, wait a second!
Ooh.
That was those mechanics.
Fantasy.
I know people are going to be saying he just pressed F, but the fact that he just realized Fury is coming through.
Press F for respect for minions.
There's a lot of minions that died.
So flash burnt on Lumao. Good play coming out from Fury, hiding in Fog of War. Lumao just spotting out that no one's coming in for a flank, at least through the narrow choke point here.
Yoon is completely far off from this team. There we go. He's back in the fold. I was wondering if he was going to get punished there, but it's not going to happen.
Double banner minions though. One onto a ranged minion, one onto the cannon. But cannon gets the minion dematerialize.
I will say
Take
here,
it away.
Breath of fresh air for Sinning Gaming. They can deal with the minions in the mid lane just because the timing between mid and bottom lane wave is pretty far off. Let's say once you get to a top tier team, a lot of the times they hold off waves so they can coincide it with mid lane crashing. So you have 2 crashing waves at the same time. It's not happening here for JD, which is pretty frustrating on their end. So it just means that the Baron buff hasn't really been used to its fullest.
It still gives them a nice gold lead. What was dead even is now a 5,000 lead to JD, breaking an inhibitor as well. They picked up the final elemental dragon of the game. Mountain dragon gets picked up. Elder's going to spawn shortly. Loken's almost level 18 as well. That Krug camp looking juicy, should tick him over the edge. And now you're looking at a JD composition with a Yasuo, a Lucian who have scaled up, level 18 with 5 items each.
Oh, and it's an Essence Reaper 1-2. He sees the Alistar staring him down. So right now it's going to be Lucian utilizing his ulti first to get into the team fight. We made a mention of it last game because Essence Reaper wasn't built on Lucian last time around because it was a very squishy composition he was going up against. So really these fights were being ended early on in the fight. This time around you get to see Loken skate around.
Yes. Fury's a woo person apparently.
Sounds like Frost. Both of them are wooers.
What?
They both of them woo.
I mean, to each their own. I would too if I had a bloody magical rock I could surf around whenever I was close to walls.
That'd be a good superpower.
It's a magic power, remember? She has the magic book, Raz.
Let's see what she does have.
Oh,
she has a magic hat and a magic book.
And magic boots and 2 staffs, Raz. There's a lot. And a ring going on as well. Ascending going to try and defend this top lane wave. Banner of Command minions are pushing through, but no Baron buff. The flick knocks them back. Suning will make short work of this minion wave, not even taking too much damage on that top lane inner turret. Suning defending it quite well.
Alright, JDG. They're tiring me out. So they pinged on to the bottom lane wave. They're just realizing that they can't just end the game in a 5v5 underneath these towers. So instead of just sending one member, preferably Yagao, on one wave, they've decided, no, we're sending everyone at the same wave.
Hello.
I'm pretty upset.
It's a big cannon, Raz. Slowly chipping away for that blue minion wave. Hacker's going to be able to clear blue buff. Taking it for himself. No, holds it.
Okay.
Giving it over to Fury. But what do we expect next? Jingdong, they've taken the lead here, Raz. Baron's coming up in a minute. Is that where we're going to see the next fight? Because after Baron buff expired, it's just been pushing waves back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect team wouldn't need the Baron because you can utilize the mid lane inhibitor that you do have.
No
but
one's perfect.
No one is perfect, you're right. And the safest option is Baron. So you can already see them darting towards it. And you can see that Zoom is preparing all of it, so now has his own cannon minions here. So it's a time limit on the side of Suning Gaming to deal with the minion or deal with the Baron pressure.
I mean, Zoom's at max items, 1-0 and 11 on Singed. Incredibly fast at that too. Oh, hello. Got him. Chris Hemsworth got smacked into a wall.
He didn't even think he was used pulverizing.
Now trying to defend that control ward, and they do so successfully.
Now, this is going to be really difficult for Suning Gaming. They need to have mid lane control when they don't have the inhibitor. With that being said, because you hear it from the lovely woman, that it is respawning. Super minion should be completely off the map in the mid lane.
They're going for a bit of an ARAM. Bottom lane, there is a cannon minion that's been bannered up, pushing in for JD. Top lane's pushing in for them anyway. So Suning trying to trim that mid lane to give them some access to Baron.
Take a look at Graves. He's forcing their hand right now. It's going to have to be on JD that starts Baron. Yep. There we go.
They've started it. Lumel's in a good position for a flank, but very squishy on this Fiddlesticks. Yoon throws out a ward to make sure they can spot him out. Immediately, ultimate being used by Yoon. That's the Alistar ultimate gone once again. Bottom lane is still pushing in for JD.
Two crucial ultimates here. Olaf ultimate and Alistar ultimate. Suning Gaming does have a proper position where they can look towards the mid lane inner, but the bannered bottom lane means that JD are just going to be going in.
We got to go quick though, Reds. Got to go fast. Zoom tries to charge in, but not fast enough.
They should just start bearing. Take a look at the bottom lane minions. I mean, the observer doesn't want to see it, but I see it.
Fury's got no teleport.
Just do it. Just do Baron.
So JD going to start it. Fury trims the wave, but doesn't kill it. Should be enough for that tower, but Baron now at half health. Suning looking for it. They're building a wall. They find Lumel. It's now 4 on 5. JD after disengage, but great ultimate coming out from Irelia. Keeps them locked down. Jumping on top of Yagao. Exhausted, however. JD makes short work with the Irelia. Turning it down. Yagao with a God! Immediately into stopwatch. Stasis going to be popped again as the Guardian Angel's being used. Everyone's falling. Logan just his low health buzz, and he's hungry. Funfun will be able to take him down. Yagao trying to clean up the rest of this team fight. Yoon desperately trying to knock them away. It was Suning's fight to win. That was all them. But Yagao with the clutch play as he flashes into thin air.
I'm not even gonna look at it. All right, I don't care what's happening, because what's happening right here is a little bit ugly.
Uh-oh, Yoon knocks him back, but unfortunately for him, that's not good enough. Just keeping them around for a bit longer, letting the Alistar live.
Yeah, they're all getting back on the map, so as long as they can keep him alive a little bit longer, that means that he won't be here for when Baron is a pressing issue. So delaying the death, super good. 46 death seconds right now for Yoon off the map.
Big play again, though, coming out of Yagao.
Phenomenal.
Yasuo, 4-man knock-up, Raz.
And this was in such a dire strait, a bad position for JD. Loken had no way to re-enter the fight. They'd completely sealed him off to the blue buff area.
Yep. And Lumel was dead. It was a 4 on 5. JD now got to pull the trigger on this Baron. This time they have the 4 on 5. Culling immediately used by Loken. Look at him dash around against this Baron. He's no match. He's too quick. Baron can't punch hard enough.
Got this.
Suning now going to try and collapse. Can they steal this? No, they can't. Clip picks it up and Zoom wants to go quick. He's going to go fast and he's found Fury. Flying back. Yasuo into the back lines. Instantly pops the AD of Fury. Talia's gone. Xiao now trying to fight this one up, but it's a surprise birthday party. Suning were not invited and they get ejected immediately. JD win the team fight.
And there's one thing for certain. It seems like no matter how good of a team Suning Gaming is, JD delivers. Hacker's going to try his hardest to just look at the minions, but nah. These are my minions. Split's not going to have it.
2 members left in Suning's roster. It's going to be the support and jungle, Raz. It was hard fought. Both games the exact same story. Suning taking the early game. JD coming back in the late game. This time they found the bridge that got them there safely. Big team fight around Baron. JD will take it. They take down the base and 2-1 against Suning.
The double threat for JD really feels crazy for them. Loken and Yagao, two incredible members. And even though we look at Xiao and we say, man, it's the Xiao show for Suning Gaming, losing their first match to their inner demons.
And 3 back-to-back victories against Suning as well. The rivalry of the e-commerce teams. I mean, JD just always come out on top.
Yeah. In always such a surprising fashion. We always look back to what JD did, the damage they did the end of last split. Round of applause, of course, coming in for the team because that was a phenomenal series. It happens again, and it comes off the fact that Yagao, he gets himself back on that carry on the Yasuo, and he was so slick in these team fights.
Ooh, so good.
And Loken did not care as well. Like, a lot of these fights, he just zoomed right into the back line. He didn't give a damn. A lot of times, of course, he's tactical. He's not crazy. So once it was the stopwatch, the second time because he just had Guardian Angel.
I mean, even in game 2 though, Raz, 14,000 gold lead.
Yep.
JD almost beat that.
Yep.
How do you stop them?
First and foremost, if you're Suning Gaming, you have to look internally. Because a lot of the issues that Suning Gaming have is the fact that they can't convert mid-game. Like, they'll get to a point in the late game that they're forced to fight, but they shouldn't have to feel forced to. They should be forcing the tempo on towards JD.
Dorito.
But they're not. It's just not happening. That's the issue that I currently have with it, is that they should be forcing the fights around Baron 10 minutes earlier than they currently are. So look at the goal lead that they had 24 minutes into the game, and it just didn't come into anything.
I mean, they got a nice 3,500 gold lead to start the match, and Suning were aggressive. Early dives bottom lane.
Yep.
Utilizing the Talia Alistair combo quite well, but
It's back.
we got the music. It was all about that Dorito as that crunch. But it wasn't enough. I mean, game 2 was nice. They got a nice 10,000 gold lead there. Even then, JD looked like they could fight back. They're just a late game team, and when they found that bridge, this time being Yagao, that was enough for them to take it to Suning earlier into the match.
That's what's scary about JD, is that they're a more cohesive unit around team fights. So they're a better team fighting team. And you always look towards the individuals of Yagao and Loken of how they can excel in these team fights, but they always structure it properly. If Suning Gaming can just take that next step around being active, they have an incredible engaged player in Yoon. Why aren't they utilizing him really early on with the massive gold leads that they have? That's a lesson that they can learn when they go in the back. This is such a valuable game piece of footage for them as well. But once again, JDG teaching them a lesson.
Didn't see too much out of Xiao as well, which is unfortunate because he's been the main carry for them for quite some time. But JD win the rivalry and they pick up the 2-1 victory here over Suning. Let's send it back to the analyst desk to break down the game.
We could also, yeah, exactly. The end of that game, I feel like we could make our own music to hype up how awesome the end of that game was. You're probably watching the stream right now and you're like, wow, it's so relaxed, so calm and mellow. Literally rewind it back 5 minutes to the end of that game and it was just awesome. There was a lot of really cool stuff going on. Yagao on that Yasuo was a god. We've got a lot of replays to go through, so we're going to skip over the pick ban. Here's what you need to know. Yagao's Yasuo is incredible, and time and again, he just shows that he has got the champion mastered.
And it all starts for the Yasuo because he's able to work with Zoom. The Singe, the Yasuo working in unison, getting the combos. The Sterix gauge to be picked second here as well. You might be looking at that and thinking, that's weird, why does he have one? It's normal now, so you'll get used to it. The Yasuos always go for that as their second item. And then he gets 4-0, then he gets 5-0, and suddenly the game cracks wide open. You're like, this is what we want to see. And then you look at the gold. You're like, hang on. It's actually even in gold the entire time. In fact, Suning Gaming were ahead in gold. And it just never felt like it. That was the major difference through a lot of that.
Yeah, of course, that was an excellent performance again from Yagao to continue to snowball and carry for his team to keep even with Suning, because Suning put up a massive barrier to try and block that. Fen on the Aurelia, he played it all 3 times, and it really seemed like it came down to the individual performance of these 2 players in these fights.
Absolutely.
We got massive ultimates from Aurelia, the Vanguard's Edge, blocking out 4 members from the fight, and then Yagao would just come in and say, you forgot one, and then get the 4-man knockup.
Yeah, this became a mid lane battle for the ages. You were watching Fen take on Yagao. It was a sick rivalry to see actually forge itself in the middle of a best of 3, in the middle of a rivalry between organizations as it already stood. But you have to remember the unsung hero of our current conversation was also Loken, someone who stepped up massively getting into the backline when it counted, and there was no AD carry for the opposing team to do the exact same thing. So started to tip the balance, tip the scales just that little bit more in JD's favor.
Yeah.
Loken did make a big part of the difference in the end.
Yeah, and again, we do have to celebrate Loken because he is starting to step into his own as an AD carry. He really started to take these strides at the end of the split in spring, but now that we're seeing him this early on start to put out these star performances bodes well for JD.
And it's not a jinx, you know? It's
Exactly.
not a long-range, late-game, hyper-scaling type of champion that the team is getting around him with. It's the Lucian, and he's going into the backline by himself. You know, he's able to make the plays, has the stopwatch, has the Guardian Angel, whatever it may be, times it well. He's a smart player. That's something that we have to give him credit for, beyond just being a good mechanical, late-game, reliable person. And JD seemed to just trust that fact. You know, he will get in there, give him Lucian, he gets it, they ban it in game 2, gets it again in game 3, and another stellar performance.
Yeah, very spectacular. Again, we've got another team fight, and again, it just keeps on coming down to these clutch plays.
This one was sick, though. This is Fen going first. He throws the first punch, and everyone's just watching that one. And then, of course, Yagao gets a couple of tornado stacks off him, gets into the bush, and finds all of them for the ultimate. Just turns it around.
Whoa, look at Fury's health. It just ceases to exist.
Yeah, and of course, following it up is still Loken.
Yeah.
The difference after all of it. You're looking at 2 sick combos, mid laners duking it out against one another. At the end of the day, there was still that extra carry for JD, that extra damage dealer that kills the rest.
And again, this is us celebrating JD coming together as they get now into the summer split. So often we've been talking about the growth for this team. Who would they define themselves as without Doinby? They brought in Yagao. They've got Zoom now in the top lane, still playing around Clid, and now Loken is also, he's yoking around. He's also stepping up in the bottom lane. And this team is becoming something that we have to fear, that we have to respect. They took the only win off of RNG since MSI.
I was just about to say the same thing. You've got to remember these guys beat RNG. They actually beat the best team that just won MSI, right? And yes, they were doing a victory lap RNG, but you still can't discredit JD's performance on the other end with how well they were playing in that first week, with how quickly they've adapted themselves to the patch, and with how good they look individually. And that's the difference, I feel like, in a lot of this set. Because we can look at JD and praise them, and we absolutely should. But where was Xiao in this particular best of 3?
Yeah.
Where was he at all?
We've got to wonder. Hopefully he'll get some time to get back on his feet and try to bring the rivalry back against Jingdong the next time we get the e-commerce wars. Because again, now it's 3-0 in favor of JD Gaming coming into summer split so far. Again, our MVP will go to Yagao. Surprise, surprise. That Yasuo was absolutely spectacular. It's funny because Rusty is the Yasuo one trick. He plays it at a very high level, and the entire time he was saying, wow, wow.
I was Owen Wilson in this one. That's usually your job, Dom.
Yeah.
I was absolutely impressed by him. And yeah, I'm a Yasuo enthusiast. I'm by no means as good as this guy is at the champion, though. He looked clean at every moment. He was impressive mechanically. He was able to navigate a difficult laning phase against a difficult to deal with champion in Aurelia and come out better for it, and then roam very effectively. And it's not just that it's the Yasuo that he has the mastery of, it's Yagao with the big brain plays as well. Raz said Galaxy Brain earlier for someone else, but I feel like now this is also applicable to him.
Yeah, and behind us you can see he's coming out on stage for an interview for the JD side to continue to just celebrate with the fans, because this is a huge step forward for JD. On the other side, is it Zoom? I'm looking through the two. Yes, that is Zoom.
I was just told it was Zoom.
Again,
I didn't actually know. I don't have eyes there.
Still, this is the celebratory moment for JD Gaming. We do have to talk about Suning. They're still looking pretty healthy in the standings. We're continuing to see growth. Xiao Al is putting out work in the top lane.
Yeah.
Fen, if he hadn't have to have gone against Yagao in the mid lane, that entire set would have gone completely different.
It's a weird... So for Suning Gaming, you know, like there's positives that they should be able to take away from this set. But at the same time, when you look at their one victory, they almost lost that. You know, it was almost a 2-0 against them, and they almost completely threw it away if it wasn't a Baron steal from Hacker, right? So at the end of the day, Suning should be taking solace in the fact that their early game is almost unrivaled in this league right now. They are very clean in the early game. From 0 to 10 minutes, unstoppable. But the second they hit 10 to 20 minutes, it feels like their playbook just shrivels. They've got nothing left to do. They don't diversify in strategy. They don't bleed out their opponents as effectively as they could be. And that still persists as an issue that they've tended to have. Their mid-game was decent in spring, but now it feels like even their mid-game is only good if they have a sizable early game lead. And then the late game's the same as it always has been.
This kind of has been the expectation for Suning. You know, coming into the LPL, we wanted to see how they would perform very early on and then see how they would grow. And we are still seeing growth, even if it's not quite hitting the goals that I think we want. What's it going to be for us to see them become a top-tier team and start to actually challenge JD in the future?
I think it's just diversifying their strategies, right? I think Fury and Yuna fantastic. They're playing different wacky things in the bottom lane, but cohesively, it doesn't all really fit seamlessly.
Well, we'll have to see if they can recover. That said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Our next set is coming up in just a few. It's Royal Never Give Up taking on Billy Gaming. Don't go near. We'll be right back.
让我们把故事传唱下去，继续书写 RNG 的传说。